Ever wondered why the rear seat on supersport motorcycles is so high? It's not just a quirky design feature, it serves some pretty significant purposes. From aerodynamics to weight distribution, vision field to comfort and safety, there's more to this elevated perch than meets the eye. And no, it's not just about giving your passenger a better view. So, why exactly is the rear seat on these speed machines so high? Well, that's what we're here to explore. Stay tuned to find out why supersport motorcycles have high rear seats. Firstly, let's dive into aerodynamics. When we speak of motorcycles, especially super sport bikes, aerodynamics plays a significant role in their design and performance. But how exactly does a high rear seat factor into this? Well, it's all about optimizing the airflow. When the rear seat is positioned higher and behind the rider, it changes the shape of the motorcycle in a way that's beneficial for the airflow. You see, as the bike moves forward, it has to push air out of the way. This creates a resistance known as aerodynamic drag, which can slow down the motorcycle. By elevating the rear seat, the motorcycle presents a more streamlined shape to the oncoming air. The air can now flow more smoothly over the bike from the front to the back, following the contours of the rider and the elevated rear seat. This smoother airflow reduces the aerodynamic drag, and as a result, the bike can move more quickly and easily. Think of it like swimming. A swimmer who dives into the water head first will move more smoothly and quickly than one who jumps in feet first. The streamlined shape of the swimmer, just like the streamlined shape of the bike, reduces resistance and enables faster movement. But it's not just about speed. Reducing aerodynamic drag also means the engine doesn't have to work as hard to maintain a given speed. This can result in better fuel efficiency and less engine wear over time. So the high rear seat doesn't just make your ride faster, it also makes it more efficient. So the high rear seat actually makes your ride smoother and quicker. It's a little change in the design that has a big impact on the overall performance of the bike. And that's the beauty of aerodynamics in the world of supersport motorcycles. Next up, let's talk about weight distribution. Imagine your motorcycle as a seesaw, with the pivot point being the center of gravity. If you've ever played on a seesaw, you'd know that balance is the key. The same principle applies to motorcycles, especially those built for speed and performance. The high rear seat on supersport motorcycles serves an essential purpose in this balance. It shifts the rider's center of gravity upward and backward. Now, why is this important? Well, this shift in the center of gravity improves the motorcycle's balance and control, especially at high speeds and during turns. Think of it like this. When you're turning a corner at high speed, you lean into the turn. This action shifts your weight towards the inside of the turn, counteracting the centrifugal force that tries to push you and your motorcycle outward. In this scenario, the higher rear seat acts like a counterweight, providing extra stability and control. This shift in the center of gravity also makes the motorcycle more responsive to the rider's inputs. When you lean into a turn or change your body position, the motorcycle reacts more quickly and precisely, giving you a greater sense of control. But it's not just about speed and turns. Even when you're riding straight, the high rear seat helps to distribute the weight more evenly across the motorcycle. This even distribution of weight reduces the strain on the front wheel and helps to prevent the dreaded wheelie effect, where the front wheel lifts off the ground during acceleration. So, while the high rear seat might give the motorcycle a sleek and sporty look, it serves a much more critical function. It enhances the rider's control and the motorcycle's stability, allowing for a safer and more enjoyable ride. The high rear seat is not just for looks, it actually helps in maneuvering the motorcycle. Another advantage of the high rear seat is the improved field of vision. Let's dive into why this is so crucial. You see, having a high rear seat on a supersport motorcycle isn't just about aesthetics or aerodynamics, but it significantly enhances the rider's vision field, making it easier to spot other vehicles, pedestrians, and potential obstacles on the road. When you're out riding, you need to be aware of your surroundings at all times. This is particularly vital when you're moving at high speeds on a supersport motorcycle. The high rear seat elevates the rider's line of sight, providing a broader perspective of the road ahead, as well as to the sides and rear. This elevated viewpoint allows the rider to see over cars in front of them, making it easier to anticipate changes in traffic flow and react accordingly. In addition, the heightened rear seat also gives the rider a better view of the side mirrors. This increased visibility reduces blind spots, allowing the rider to see vehicles approaching from behind and make safer lane changes. Now you might be thinking, well, that's all well and good, but doesn't the high rear seat make it harder to see what's right in front of the bike? Not at all. In fact, the design of supersport motorcycles, including the high rear seat, is intended to position the rider leaning forward. This forward-leaning position allows the rider to see directly in front of the bike without obstruction, ensuring nothing gets missed. So you see, the high rear seat on a supersport motorcycle doesn't just make the bike look sleek and stylish. It serves a practical purpose by improving the rider's field of vision. It enables the rider to better anticipate and react to changes in traffic, potential hazards, and even those pesky potholes that seem to appear out of nowhere. Remember, when you're on a supersport motorcycle, your vision field is your first line of defense. It's your early warning system that allows you to react quickly and safely to whatever the road throws at you. And that's why the high rear seat is so important. It's all about safety and control, right? Lastly, let's talk about comfort and safety. Two aspects that are paramount in any form of transportation, and supersport motorcycles are no exception. Now, a high rear seat might not initially scream comfort, but let's delve a little deeper. Firstly, consider the rider. A high rear seat design reduces strain on the rider's back and arms. How so, you ask? Well, it's all about posture. The elevated rear seat encourages a more upright riding position. This alleviates pressure on the lower back and redistributes it evenly across the spine. The result? Less fatigue and a more enjoyable ride. Not forgetting the arms, the high rear seat also reduces the pressure exerted on the rider's arms, thereby reducing the likelihood of arm fatigue. With less strain on the back and arms, the rider can focus more on the road ahead, making the ride not just more comfortable, but safer too. Now, let's shift our focus to the passenger. More legroom is a clear advantage of a high rear seat. The additional space allows the passenger to stretch out a bit more, reducing cramping and increasing overall comfort during the ride. But the benefits of a high rear seat don't stop at comfort. They extend into the realm of safety as well. In the unfortunate event of an accident, a high seat can provide a degree of protection for the passenger. By keeping the head and body further from the ground, the high seat can help to reduce the impact and potential injuries. Of course, we should always strive to avoid accidents in the first place. But it's reassuring to know that the design of supersport motorcycles has considered safety in every aspect, including the height of the rear seat. Comfort and safety, two more reasons for the high rear seat. So the next time you see a supersport motorcycle, remember that its design is not just about speed and performance, but also about providing a safe and comfortable ride. To sum it all up, the elevated rear seat on supersport motorcycles is a clever design element with multiple purposes. The first of these is aerodynamics. By positioning the rear seat high and behind the rider, it optimizes airflow, reducing the motorcycle's aerodynamic drag. This makes the bike move faster and more effortlessly. The second purpose is weight distribution. The raised rear seat shifts the center of gravity upwards and backwards, enhancing the bike's balance and control. This is especially critical when taking corners at high speeds. Thirdly, the high rear seat offers an expanded field of vision. Riders gain a broader perspective of the road behind and around them, enabling them to spot other vehicles and obstacles more easily and maneuver accordingly. Fourth, it's about comfort. The elevated seat reduces the strain on the rider's back and arms and provides more legroom for the passenger. Lastly, there's the aspect of safety. In the event of an accident, the high seat can better protect the passenger by reducing the risk of head and body impact with the ground. So the rear seat's height on supersport motorcycles is more than just an aesthetic feature. It's a thoughtfully engineered component that enhances aerodynamics, weight distribution, visibility, comfort, and safety. So the next time you see a supersport motorcycle, you'll know why the rear seat is so high. Thanks for watching.